Rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please join me in reciting the Durud Ibrahimi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Amir Mawiyah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu relates, he says, I heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it is the day of Ashura. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not made fasting obligatory for you, but I am fasting. He who likes to observe fast among you should do so. In Islam, 10th of Muharram, the day of Ashura, is a day of great historical significance. It was the 10th of Muharram when Sayyidina Hussain achieved the honor of martyrdom, the honor of Shahadat. In the month of Muharram, 61 Hijri, 20th of October, 680, an event took place in the country of Iraq at a place known as Karbala. A large army besieged a group of persons numbering less than 100 and put them under pressure to pay allegiance to the new ruler of that time. The small group resisted and a severe battle took place, in which most members of this small group were killed. It appeared at that time that, like hundreds of similar events, this battle would be recorded in history and forgotten in time. However, the event that occurred on the 10th day of Muharram in Karbala had everlasting effects. On one hand, this event became a beacon and inspiration for the future generation of Mujahideen Islam. And on the other hand, this event divided the greatest nation of its time into two major groups. Today, people are hesitant to talk about this subject because of its sensitivity. We generally avoid such topics in our attempt to not offend anyone. On the other hand, if we do not educate ourselves and our next generations utilizing the correct and genuine books and resources of Ahl Sunnah wa Jama'ah, it is a high possibility that we are going to end up with wrong information. Information that will spread hatred and further divide the Ummah. So let's go back in history and look at the factors leading to this event. After the death of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu was elected as the Caliph of Muslims. A procedure of consultation was applied in a certain way on electing the first caliph. Before his death, Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu nominated Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu to take the responsibility of Khilafat. And Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu was elected as the second Khalifa. Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu served Islam for about 10 years. Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu devised that his successor was to be chosen from among six persons. Those six who had been given the glad news of entering paradise. Thus Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu was elected to be the third caliph. After the assassination of Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhu was chosen by the Muslims to be the fourth caliph. Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu was last elected caliph. After that, electing the Khalifa democratically came to an end. And since then, the hereditary ruling started in Muslim Ummah and continued until the collapse of Ottoman Empire in the early 20th century. After the death of Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Amir Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala anhu ruled Muslims for about 20 years. Hazrat Amir Muawiyah was from the clan of Banu Umayyah. He was a close companion of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He is one of the Sahaba. He held the office of the governor of Syria for 5 years under the second caliph, Hazrat Umar, and for 12 years under the third caliph, Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala. He also ruled over Syria for about 5 years during the Khilafat of Ali radiallahu ta'ala. Amir Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala passed away in the 60th Hijri in the month of Rajab. After the death of Amir Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala, his son Yazid took power in his hands. Yazid decided to obtain the oath of alliance from Hussain bin Ali radiallahu ta'ala, Abdullah bin Zubair and Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu ta'ala. All three had not acknowledged Yazid as a successor of Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala. Yazid therefore wrote a letter to Walid bin Utbah, the governor of Medina, desiring him to obtain alliance from these three persons as early as possible and not to accept any excuses from them. Hussain radiallahu anhu, the grandson of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, declined to take the oath of alliance and went to Makkah on the 8th day of Zulhajj. While he was in Makkah, people of Kufa wrote many letters to him and invited him to Kufa. Let's talk briefly about Kufa. In Muslim history, Kufa is a unique place. In the 37 Hijri, Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala shifted his capital from Medina to Kufa. And ever since, the city became the home of those who claim partisanship of Ahl Bayt. Now, who are Ahl Bayt? Ahl Bayt are the household of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are the family and relatives of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In 41 Hijri, after the reconciliation between Hazrat Hussain, the older brother of Hazrat Hussain, and Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, many of those who had been supporting Sayyidina Hussain settled in Kufa. They regarded themselves as Shi'ane Ali. Word Shia means supporter. Shi'ane Ali means supporter of Ali. They also regarded themselves as Shia of the Ahl Bayt, meaning supporter of the household of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Sayyidina Hussain radiallahu ta'ala received letters from Kufa, he accepted this invitation and left Makkah for Kufa. On Thursday, the 2nd of Muharram 61 Hijri, Hussain radiallahu ta'ala camped at a place in the region of Nainawa called Karbala. This is where he was surrounded by the large army sent by the governor of Kufa, Ibn Ziyad. On the 10th of Muharram, Hussain radiallahu ta'ala was murdered along with all the men and boys from his family except Zainul Abidin. Hussain radiallahu ta'ala was not going to Kufa to have a war. He did not leave Makkah with an army. Actually, he sent people back, those who wanted to go with him. His objective was to convince Yazid to follow the guidelines given by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was the right of Muslim Ummah to choose its ruler. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not appoint anyone. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu and the rest of Khulafai Rashidin Rizwanullah ta'ala ajma'in were chosen after consultation. The aim of Sayyidina Hussain was to reform the nation of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This would mean putting an end to all kind of corruptions and deviation from the right path, so that the nation could be united again. A fair look at what happened thereafter shows that Muslims became united. They did so in supporting Ibn Zubayr in his revolution against Yazid. The companions and their followers remained in their houses in Medina, refusing to pledge alliance to Yazid. The Muslims also showed unity in supporting Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Malik in their ordeals because of their love for Ahlul Bayt. Imam Shafi once said, if loving the Ahlul Bayt would be regarded as rebellion, then let humankind and jinn bear witness that I am a rebel. This is what Quran says about Ahlul Bayt, Surah Al-Ahzab, verse number 33. إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت يطهركم تطهيرا. Allah wishes only to remove uncleanness from you, O members of the family, and to purify you with a thorough purification. There are many hadiths that urge Muslims to give due regard to the household of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As reported by Sahih Muslim, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Fear Allah concerning my household by giving them due regard." And Prophet repeated this 3 times. We are to love everything that was dear to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He loved his family, his household, and he loved his companions. Once Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "My companions are like the stars. Whoever among them you use for guidance, you will be rightly guided." As Muslims, we are to have the deepest love and utmost respect for the Ahlul Bayt and Sahaba Rizwanullah ta'ala ajma'in. But we have to be careful. We need to make sure that in matter of love and loyalty to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to his family and to his companions, we do not go to extreme. We must avoid any practice that goes against Quran and the Sharia. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 143, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. Thus we have made of you an ummah justly balanced. We are to avoid extreme and stay in the middle. To do so, we have to be ready to listen to each other's point of view with open heart. We must never lose the sight of big picture. 2 persons who truly believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the last prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, will always be close to each other than to any other person who does not share the same beliefs. Our next generation should not be divided into groups. It is our duty to develop tolerance among them and teach them to respect all school of thoughts, all religions, all human beings. One of the unfortunate events in the early history of Islam was a war between Sayyidina Amir Muawiyah and Sayyidina Ali. At that time, the news came that a Byzantine ruler was planning to invade Arabia to take advantage of this internal rift. Upon learning that, Sayyidina Amir Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala wrote a letter to Byzantine king saying that if your forces head this way, I will be the first to join the army of Ali to stop you. Can you imagine what would be the situation of Ummah if we follow that example today? No one can harm us if we are united. Now it is common sense to have difference of opinion. It becomes problem only when we overstate these differences. The call of Muslim unity today is not a motto. It is a duty that Allah has ordained on us. We are one nation, we are one ummah that testifies La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. That there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is his messenger. So let our actions and our efforts be an expression of unity. And let our guiding principle be وَآتَسِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعٌ وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, and hold fast, all of you together, to the rope of Allah, and do not be divided. Dear brothers and sisters, a humble request. There's a lot of propaganda out there. Some groups are called Gustaf al-Rasul. Some are called the worshipper of grave. Similarly, there is so many things said about the Shiism. But we know that there is a huge difference between propaganda and reality. We have to do research. We have to educate our next generations. We must play our part in uniting the Ummah. There are two very good scholars who have talked about this topic. In Urdu, Maulana Ishaq, his YouTube videos are available. So Maulana Ishaq, if you understand Urdu. And Dr. Yasir Gadi, he has an excellent lecture on the Shahadat of Imam Hussain, and the title is Massacre of Karbala. Massacre of Karbala by Yasir Gadi. Please listen to this lecture and share it with your friends and the family. A quick announcement: registration for the hybrid school, which is a 2-day school during the week online, and a live school, like students will be coming to ISGH on Sunday, is open, and it will be ending on September 15th. This is a special program we have started for our youth. Please take full advantage of it. For more information, please talk to our Mufti Sahib. Jazakallahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.